Welcome back to 0 to 60. Today I'm back on the M5 and I want to try and fix out its leaning out issue at high RPM under high load. So I'm going to get the new fuel pressure regulator fitted. Hopefully that sorts it out. But before I get it out of the garage and off the hoist, I would also like to fit the new pitman arm because the one that's on there has got a squeaky bush. So while I've got the opportunity to get it on the hoist and off the ground, I'll do that. And also fit some new front pork chops, or these quarter splash panels, whatever you want to call them, because this car, the ones that come on the car were just very old, very brittle, so I never even put them back on after putting the front end on. And I've managed to get some new ones, which I think they came from Ukraine. They're actually a really nice quality, so I'm looking forward to getting them on and getting that sealed. So we've got a fair bit to get done today. I want to try and get it done quickly. My main goal is to, well, hopefully this sorts out the leaning out issue at high RPM, because then we can get back on the track to making this thing go even faster and just start enjoying it again. But before I do get started, I want to quickly mention the 0 to 60 store. If you want to grab yourself some merchandise, check out 0to60.com, and there's a big section to take your pick for Aussie guys and even NZ guys. We've got an order going out to NZ on Tuesday when the post office opens again. But if you are from anywhere else in the world, there is a link to go to the Teespring store from 0to60.com, and it turns out it's much easier, much quicker, and much cheaper shipping if you're anywhere else in the world that's not Australia or NZ. If this rain doesn't stop, I'm gonna have to jump on there and treat myself to a new hoodie as well. All right guys, let's get into it. Okay, getting the fuel reg off wasn't too bad, but the vacuum line that's on there is just completely destroyed. Yeah, so it's still on the reg. I'm gonna have to replace that, the part that goes from the car to the reg. It just perished basically as soon as I put really any force on it. So now I've got to pull this reg out. It looks like there's a circlip holding it in. So there we go. There we go. Damn it, it's tight. Wait. Okay, I got the fuel reg out. It was just the O-rings were nice and dry and it was incredibly tight. I mean, that could be the original one, so it could have been in there for 20 years. I just had to pull it out. And ideally, well, I really should be changing the fuel filter at the same time as this, but I just haven't got one, so I'm gonna have to add it to the seemingly endless list of more parts to buy and jobs to do on this car. And to be honest, the reg, it looks old, so that could be the cause of the problem. Just a nice press fit, and then pop that circlip back over it to get it to lock in. So that's everything put back together. It was all pretty straightforward. These fuel lines do feel really soft, but I think they'll be okay. However, I don't have a vacuum line to replace the bit that perished from the hard vacuum line that goes onto the fuel reg, which is, it's about 2 centimeters worth. So I will, while I'm under here, I'll fit the other arm, and then I'll run to the shops and try and get some vacuum line if they are open today. Just realized that I've been calling it, or I've been referring to it as a pitman arm. It's actually the idler arm. Yeah, it's on the passenger side of the car. But I believe that bush is what is making the squeak sometimes when you're turning. It'd make sense, right? And they weren't too expensive, so I just grabbed a whole new idler arm to save pressing any bushes in and out. And that looks like the right one. Cool. It is unfortunate how much of a mess everything underneath got when the car was getting stuck the other day. Everything's covered in mud now, but she needs a good clean. Again, I'll just add that to the infinite list of jobs to do for her. All right, I'll get all these cracked and see how much force it's gonna need to be pulled out. Well, that was pressed on incredibly tight, but we popped it off with a ball joint breaker. Come off like a gun, actually. That was awesome. Luckily, it didn't hit my foot. But got the new one, and the old one doesn't look bad, but it's that bush in there. It's rock hard. She's got to be seized. So hopefully this gets rid of the creaking, and it might even free the steering up a little bit, make it a little bit nicer. So I'll get that pushed back onto there and bolt it back in, and we should be good to go. Okay, that's the idler arm on now. Everything's torqued to spec. The only tricky part with that was actually getting that ball joint off, which hopefully you saw. But there was a lot of pressure on that ball joint breaker, and it did come off like a gun. But other than that, it was pretty simple, so not a bad thing to do. And they're actually really cheap as well. I wouldn't even. There was the option to buy just the bush and press it in and out, but I haven't got a press, and I think even if you had a press, it was barely worth not buying the new idler arm just to have a new one. But I've gone to get the pork chops, or whatever you want to call it, to go on the front bar, but I've just stumbled across some vacuum line, and I think that is going to be enough to join the fuel reg back up. So I'm going to install that now, and then hopefully we'll be back in business. And the vacuum line is from a 335, of course. Bloody fantastic. All right, job done. So now I can reassemble, put that cover back on and all that sort of stuff. And I'll just show you these. These are the pork chops. They are of brilliant quality. I'm really happy with them. They've got the ambient temperature sensor down here. The other side has the vents, the proper vents as well. And they have this massive piece of rubber on the side, which I saw a lot of aftermarket ones didn't have that piece. I don't know what it does, but the genuine ones had it, so I wanted to pay the extra and get the ones that do have them. I'll put a link below in case you guys wanted to grab some as well. Every single one of my E39s, these are in poor condition, so it must be a pretty common E39 thing, and I'm pretty sure all the M Sports have the same ones as well, M Sports and M5s from memory. So I'll put a link below in case you do want to grab one that are, I can confidently say are pretty good quality. But I'm going to get installing. Before I covered it in with the pork chop, I wanted to put the sock on the air filter as well. So that's what it looks like with the sock, which should stop, as these are so bloody low, especially when you haven't got this part of the guard, the pork chop covering it. Just debris and just fills all of the lines in the gauze of the filter. So I'm hoping this sock will just deflect a lot of the big pieces from going and getting stuck in the gauze, and should keep things a lot cleaner. Well, that's actually everything on. Pork chops, whatever you want to call them, they're all back together. It has brought to my attention just how bad particularly the front left, but both of the front guard liners are, so I'm going to have to buy some new ones of those tonight, really. I should do it. I've got the vacuum line on. I think I showed you guys that on the fuel regs. That's all good to go. That's the other pork chop. The only thing is, I also put the sock on the air filter. The only thing is, the air filter, which I'm pretty sure it is the standard Canon air filter that comes with the ESS kit, it's bloody huge. Like, it literally goes from the very bottom of the bar up into the hole into the engine bay. And when I've installed this, the air filter is actually hitting the casing that the ambient temperature sensor clips into. You can actually see it's bulging down there. And also, because the filter goes right to the bar, I couldn't put a bolt or a screw into this section of the pork chop. So it's not bolted in that one there, it's in the other three. And then it's also actually pushing so hard, you can see it's sort of pulling that recessed piece that's pop riveted into the outer shell down. So I'm hoping that'll be okay. I might actually buy a smaller air filter, because it doesn't like living in that hole very much. If you can get one that's just 5mm or 10mm shorter and all the other dimensions the same, that'll be perfect. So I'll have a look, see what Canon's got available. If not, might have to trim that casing a little bit and work something out, just so it's not putting pressure on it and on those pop rivets. I was hoping, the plan was to actually go for a drive tonight, or today, get it outside and see if it is leaning out up top, but the rain has not stopped and our property is just getting worse and worse and worse. I don't think I'll even make it to the road if I try and take it outside, let alone make it back to the shed. So I'm not going to do it tonight. Instead, I'll just open the door and fire it up and see if it works. I've been playing with the steering, obviously, and with that new idler arm fitted, it all feels nice and smooth. It doesn't seem to, obviously, it's a direct replacement. There was no adjustment. I don't think it's going to put the steering out of whack. It just feels nice. So I'll fire it up now and make sure it does actually run with this new fuel reg fitted. So let's do that. Yeah, I'd imagine it's going to need some priming after having the fuel pressure drained. I might just do that again, actually. No, sweet, sounds like she's primed. See what happens. It's alive. Cool. That'll do. That'll do. I'm not going to be able to see if it's fixed the leaning out issue in the shed, so I won't even get any more temperature into it. I literally just wanted to see if everything was put back together properly, because I haven't actually put the underbody, that left underbody cover on. So I'll put the car back up, I'll put that on, and that'll about do it for this video. I feel bad that I'm not going to be able to do some pulls, and yeah, you guys aren't going to hear this thing. That is one thing I've noticed since being back in this thing and moving it around, is how much I bloody missed it and missed that sound. So although you won't get to hear some pulls or see if it has fixed the lean issue, I'll drop some pulls from previous videos from in the past, because this car is a thing of beauty. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Again, if you do want to grab yourself some merchandise, help support the channel, or just represent your team E39, especially for you E39 guys, or the N54 guys, obviously I know there's a lot of you guys on the channel, then don't forget to check out the website. And if you've got any questions about changing the stuff we did in today's video, then just, yeah, let us know in the comments. And with that said, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Peace.
Hey.